Thank you for staying back. It's not easy for 2 days, very tiring, a lot of walking around, watching the presentation demo. Thanks for staying back, and happy to see still so many people staying back. So I will do a quick, I think most of you have seen what we have been working on downstairs, so that part probably I do wrong a little bit quicker. Let me just quickly go through what we want to talk about, the key highlights from IFR report. I think everybody have got caught by the question from Quack yesterday morning. So don't worry, there's no question from me, just a quick sharing and try to make sense of the data and see what we should do to respond to certain trends. And also touch on the challenges and opportunities. I think over the last few presentations, many people have been more or less highlighting some of the key challenges. Then how can we leverage moving forward cloud innovation, open source, open innovation, and how do we move, what's our view, opinion going forward to realize full autonomy, automation, and robotics. And give a quick recap, the high-level recap of why we did what we do, and those demonstrations that we've given you just now downstairs. So these are the numbers. I think it's a good number. Industry robot-wise, this is the latest data for last year, 2021. Actually, there's a jump 31% over the year before. I think everybody knows that because 2020 was really a bad year, but still 31% increment is quite something we should feel that excited about. And the forecast going forward from IFR is that the CAGR will be around 7% continuous increment in terms of the installation of new industrial robots over the next few years. And we can see that the top 5 end-user companies, electrical electronics overtook automotive. I think last year or the year before, automotive used to be the dominant use of industrial robot. I think electronics, electrical, I think Singapore is doing part of that. We do not have a lot automotive, but we do have one starting up, Hyundai. And then followed by metal and machinery, which is also relevant to Singapore, and plastic and chemical products, and food. Food is something every one of us really love in Singapore. And the top use case is handling of anything moving around, pick and place, sorting, packaging, labeling. So a lot of these activities are actually, many of them in the industry are not value added. That's why we are looking for solutions from automation, robotics. How can we do that on behalf of people? Like this morning, Selena shared, in the hospital, every medication requires 30 touch points, different people along different ways. How can we reduce that so that people can do really things that require people to do, right? The human touch, working with people, talking to people, counseling, that kind of things. Welding used to be the #1 application due to our automotive industry, now become #2. Assembling, clean room application for semiconductors, and dispensing a lot of, whether it's glue, whether it's materials or masking, that kind of applications. And top 5 market, I think no-brainer, China, Japan, and USA, and I think Republic of Korea and Germany has been battling to be #4, #5. I thought this is good news for the team who are working and playing in this field of robotics and automation. I think it's more relevant probably to this team here is the service robot, right? Like Panasonic, there's some companies working in this domain. There's also good news here. Transport and logistics account for 40% of the total new installation. And there's again 37% increase over 2020. And we also see, if you look at the application areas, the transport and logistics followed by hospitality, where you need to have the robot to serve people. Now people serve robot, and followed by medical healthcare that, as Selena explained this morning. And cleaning, we have seen Dylan is so excited about line board, right? We have a challenge from PropQuack early yesterday morning, for those who are here, that we want to reach a 10K robot in 2 years. And Dylan told me that we can achieve that next year. We don't even require 2 years. Just 1 year can achieve that 10,000 robot target. So that's good news, that demand is there, products, it's up to us to deliver and to manage, have the solution to manage that automation solutions to bring value into the deployment. And agriculture is something very distant from Singapore. I think now we are catching up. We are farming our aquaculture. Later on, I'll talk about the challenges and opportunities. There's really something Singapore is, into our heart. We want to secure our food security going forward. The other thing I want to point out is this part. All these red are new startups, companies that have been around probably less than 5 years. It's good news that a lot of new innovation are coming into the market. New products, new technology, better performance, better capabilities are coming to the market. For user companies, this is good on the one hand, but it's also challenging. You're spoiled with choices and selections, which one you want to go to. And also, if you want to benefit and continuously benefit the new innovations, you need to think solutions, how you make this different generation robot from different companies, old and new, how to make them interoperable. And this is where we see RMF. I think we have heard a lot of RMF recently for the last 2 days. And this is where we believe RMF can and will continue to play a role to enable that, to make this deployment easier so that end user companies can continue to benefit if they choose to, the newer innovation, the better solutions, better products, better performance. So look at the challenges and opportunities. This has been mentioned many, many times. This is just one report. By 2030, Singapore working population will be dropped by close to 10% or 8% to be exact. That means a lot of us, myself definitely, will be one of them, to be retired and to enjoy life and to enjoy the elderly kind of a life, or will not be working, will not be one of those working populations. And look at this chart. This was a report when the Minister Chen was still the MTN minister, talking about the over-reliance on foreign laborers in Singapore. So right now, in the pre-COVID, we have over 300,000 migrant workers for the construction industry alone. Our HDB, our condominium, our road, our bridge, everything are really maintained and supported by these migrant workers. Of course, we are grateful and appreciative to their contributions. They also find that these migrant workers, they don't want to do this low-level work themselves. And unless there's no choice, unless the pay is rise, matches what they expect. So the question from the Minister Chen then was, is Singapore prepared to have 2,500 new babies every year produced to go into the construction industry, to work there for 40 years? And this also is already assuming that Singaporeans, local with better education can be 3 times more productive. If not, we need to produce 7,500 babies every year for 40 years, continue to support these 300,000 construction workers. We know Singaporeans are not producing enough babies. Right, so what's the solution to these challenges? And I put challenge and opportunity together. Whenever there's a challenge, It's an opportunity for smart people to take action, to come out with solution, come out product, grab the opportunity, and turn the challenge into something for the business. So aging population reliance on foreign workers is a national challenge to Singapore. It's also opportunity for our robotics and automation community ecosystem in Singapore. So there's also a mission that there's opportunity directly given from the government or due to national challenge that Singapore essentially set a target of 2030 manufacturing vision. For those local people all know that the government set another challenge to everyone. Can we increase our value add on manufacturing sector by 50% by the year 2030? And don't forget, we don't have people to man the factories, don't have enough people, don't have sufficient people to man the industry, yet we want to produce more. And how can we achieve that? Automation, robotics, right? The natural choice. And there's also 30 by 30 food security goal. I mentioned Singapore. When you talk about Singapore, nobody really relate to agriculture, farming, right? But this is target also set by the government. By 2030, we want to secure 30% of nutrition produce made in Singapore. And now you go to the, last year I helped to do the APAC Industrial Transformation Asia Pacific booth for A-Star. So we put something similar to this on vertical farming, attract a lot of people. We are the booth that attracts the most visitors. It's attracted by the vertical farming because everybody feels the needs for Singapore to secure our food supply. And of course, we want to be greener, going to that. And yesterday I asked a question, how can we play a part in sustainability, make Singapore greener? Does it mean that more robots, more greener, or less robot is greener? So we don't know. So the question for the ecosystem to think about. And talent development, this is very important. I think later on, Carlos from SP will be sharing that. What can we do better, right, to train these younger generations? In Singapore, number one, we don't have enough babies. Number two, babies do not want to do manufacturing. And yet we need to produce things, right, for ourselves, for the world, to stay competitive. So a lot of things we need to, train them, people, interest them to do not the traditional engineering work, but more advanced, something that they can be attracted to with robot, for example. So how can we be strengthen the capabilities, local system? Matt, our international Matt, I like to joke, and Christoph shared with us what they are doing in Europe, in Americas. So we set up this one. We want to maintain close collaboration with them, to learn their best practices. Very grateful they share with us what they did, what they plan to do. So a lot of learning for us to take and learn from them. We want to learn and benefit from the crowd innovation, standardization, best practices, and also help our local companies, ecosystem players, to gain some market exposure outside Singapore. Of course, as a return, we also contribute. Right? One of the things is supported by NRP on the RMF, Open RMF, we share internationally. In the latest report, one of the reports I saw is Estonia. They used to the Open RMF implement similar things for hospital, right, in Europe. So, I mean, I truly believe it's both ways. You cannot just take what Matt did or what Chris did, let's assemble and do here, don't share them, close ourselves, don't tell them what we do. That doesn't work. That's not open innovation, that is not crowd innovation. So with this ecosystem, that we want to develop technologies that we can fan out, support our local industry, local ecosystem, what we call capability multiplier. Through us, we develop something that many companies can benefit, rather than one-to-one, just one company. So moving forward, how can we make the robot more autonomous? So we have come out this comics everybody, we were young, we like to read the comic books, the similar things. It's easy for us to reference, and it has to be collaborative, the robot. A lot of discussion from ABI research yesterday from some of the speakers. How can we make this truly collaborative? And people may ask, there is already a cobot. Why do we still need to do research in collaboration? Cobot, to me, is not full collaboration. You still need to stay away. They still hit you until they, detect that the force is above certain limit. So that's not safe enough. So how can we make it truly safe robot, collaborative with people, understand the intention. When you show your hand, when you move this way, robot know that you're coming this way, it will stop, it will work something else. You can interact with the robot, tell robot what you want to do, or robot can understand your intention and delegate and share the workload with you yourself. And between robot itself, robot swarm, there's also collaboration between them. The second is it's open source. So I do not need to talk too much. Everybody heard of that. And the third one is really mobile. We heard a lot of things. The real value of a robot or service robot, if the robot cannot move, really no value. Right? You go to a hospital, go to a hotel, you go to supermarket, the robot has to move. Even manufacturing, we are seeing the trends. Companies coming to us, how can I benefit from mobile robot? One of the aerospace company, they have multiple stages of processing a part. And they use trolleys manually push from station to station. They have a robot on the station itself to load and unload to do the machine tending. Now they want to automate the handling and transport the material between stations. So mobility is very important. Safety, performance, natural navigation. You don't need to do any markers on the floor. You don't need to do any reflectors on the column. The system can go. So these are all the things the community need to research into. How to do co-localization, all weather conditions, indoor, outdoor. Just now, one package we are looking into how you assess the rain condition for your robot to work outside. And how do we balance speed and safety and manage the mobile fleets? Intelligent, I think, goes, is a no-brainer. We are talking about vision, talking about audio, talking about tactile interaction with robot and learning. And also even the robot itself can self-learn, self-aware where the robot is. And one of the package we are talking about, robot itself, we want to equip the robot with a capability to assess whether the environment for me to walk in, to travel, is safe or not. Right, so the one the package just now showed, the robot seeing that, it can assess itself, this is safe, this place is not safe for me to travel. So that's called self and ambience awareness. What's the environment out there for me? And how can they automatically, autonomously learn and reinforce the learning and do the autonomous decision making? So these are the things we feel necessary. And that they need to be connected, ubiquitous connectivity, robot to people, and robot to environment using IoT sensors. So those are very key things. And we see will play a part enabling the autonomy operation of the robot going forward. And simplified, and Augmenters yesterday talking about, right? How can we allow the users with no knowledge yet able to use a robot? A gesture, by shaking, using my hand, or maybe blinking my eyes, right? They are already report using AR, VR to the programming of the robot, to control the robot. So how can we take the complexity out, the high tech, make it a dumb, right? Make it dumb, foolproof. Like a compact camera, right? Those days. We call it, in Chinese, we call it 傻瓜相机. That means the camera for a fool. You don't need to set anything. The early days of mechanical camera, the camera need to set the exposure, the aperture, the timing, everything. Later on, I have the automated camera, auto zoom, auto focusing. You don't need to do anything. Now, mobile phone, who need training to use a camera? So that's the kind of things. We take out the complexity so that everybody, even without education, can use a robot, can program the robot. So that's, of course, definitely the tall order. But this is a direction that I believe that we need to go as a team, as an ecosystem player, as a community, move forward to make the robot more autonomous. So last part, I just want to quickly share, you have seen all the 7 packages downstairs, hopefully. And this is a program it took us more than a year to convince the grant givers. Those are 4 minutes for those who are not so familiar, and there are 4 parties in deciding whether they fund or they do not fund. One is the EDB. EDB want to know, you are doing this, what's a benefit for MNCs? Can you help me to attract MNCs to come to Singapore to set up our operation? And the other party is a National Research Foundation. They want to know, is there a research content? Are you repeating something that other people have already done? Are you trying to do everything yourself? Did you bring in the university professors? How do you collaborate with HLs? So they come in from the other angle. Then there's ESG, Enterprise Singapore. They want to know, are you really helping our local companies? You do this is so good, but nobody, local small and medium company can use, can learn, can benefit. Does not fulfill my requirement. The last one is A-Star ourselves. They want to know, again, are you trying to duplicate something? If the other research institutes are already doing, why not bring them in? Right? For Singapore is a small company, there's no need for duplicated investment. So these 4 organizations really scrutinize our proposal, the technical details, the economic worthiness, and also whether collaboration-wise we are doing enough. I think you have seen Mohan in Dylan's presentation. He's one of our collaborators. We have a strong team, Jing from NTU. Is also a long-term partner. And our sister RIs from A-Star that we put all the so-called the best people together to do this program. This is $11 million investment from the government for us to develop technologies. Some of them will be open source because we take this as ROS-related open innovation. We want to share. We want to share with the community, local and overseas. In those packages, what you have seen, we officially started this program only April this year. So we are adopting what we call agile development approach, methodology. So the team need to regularly come out what we call MVP, minimum viable products, and some prototypes, videos, YouTube type things to show our potential users, the target industrial companies, is this something useful to you? If not, we need to change. We need to change. Because technology develops so fast, nobody can really foresee or come up with a proposal that over the next 3 years, nobody can catch up. So we need to constantly get feedback from users, from researchers, and change our course of R&D so that we can deliver something that is relevant to the users, to the ecosystem. So that's a high-level highlight of what we do. And here summarize the 4 stages that we are looking at. The first level is we are developing this ROS-2 native controllers. And this is led by Professor Chen Yiming from NTU. So we're looking into developing the software and hardware component, essential component that can be used by companies to do customizable robot. You can build your own robot with a mobile platform and as well as a manipulator on top. So a single one controller can do that magic. So this is something we are developing and focusing on to do. And once you can do something about the robot level, and another beauty about this part is, we have a lot of industrial robot, right? 5 axes, 4 axes. Some of them may be due to whatever reasons come to the age for decommissioning because the controller itself may not be supported, the software may not be updated. And what we want to do is, what if we tear off those controllers that come from proprietary vendors and throw away the software and plug in this software controller and hardware controllers, use that body because the motor is okay, the gearbox is still working, the end effectors are not spoiled, why not we give a second life to the robot body itself? So that's another secondary benefit of doing this particular package. Hopefully we can contribute, no matter how little it is, into the sustainability of the thing, reuse as much as possible. So tackling that part, after that we look into the work cell, where you have a robot, you have the setting nice setup, like I'm a robot here, this is the area I need to work, whether it's hospital, manufacturing, logistics. How do we quickly, automatically create that digital space? We all know that robot live in robot domain or not domain. The reference framework, we live our own world. How do we quickly assemble, use sensor to create that digital space and constantly calibrate, recalibrate, and self-correction if things are drift, sensor drift, are not accurate enough? How can we make that environment still operable in good condition for robot to work inside there? So once we have this, we look into mobility. You have a robot, you have a cell, you have a mobility side. We're looking into how we can make sure that it's a safety assured. Whatever you do, there's no issue with safety. How do we do, there's I think just now the presentation, how do we do whole body movement, right? Instead of stop and go, and that means when you move, you don't manipulate. When you manipulate, you don't move. We want to go into manipulate on the move to save time, to make it more efficient. So then come to the top, we are looking into plugins to RMF to do the overall performance metrics, benchmarking and optimization, and also simulation with that ring conditions and interconnectivity issues. So these are overall high-level pictures about this program. Our target is to lower the technology barrier to the economy, to the ecosystem, increase the success rate for adoptions, and hopefully we can working together with the ecosystem to boost the capabilities of that ecosystem. So these are the companies who have given us letter of support. We feel that certain package is relevant to them. I think yesterday, Prof. Quek also quickly flashed out this. For all the modules, we have 7 packages. Which other company has shown interest? And this is the guiding star for us. The team are creating that MVPs regularly, and we want them to comment how useful it is, as we go and develop. So the team will be running monthly and bi-weekly agile scrum, and every other week they will be looking at the issues, the development, the feedback, and how do we improve. So I think you have seen this. I will not go through any details. So each package will have to define what are the motivation, what motivate your work, what are the key top 3 objectives, and what's the key features, and what's the benefits you can bring to the customer. So all this we will review regularly with our target customers, those who have show interest to this. So for those on the floor which you have not been consulted yet, approach us if you are interested in any module or all the modules. We'll be more than happy to listen to you to see how we can develop something that is useful for you. In this particular scheme, for those who are not familiar, is under the government funding called Industrial Alignment Fund, pre-position. In short, we call that PP. Pre-position meaning that we are developing something not for any particular company, it's before competition. So there's a certain common things everybody can use, and then go to the next step to do further development, collaborative, joint lab, industrial collaboration projects, and make it company specific. So this is a stage before that. Therefore, it's open to all. Even competitors, you can take the same technology, do your own customization after this is done. So really, I'm calling for your support. Anything you feel interested, come share with us, and we want to learn from you and see how we can develop something that can potentially benefit your company. I will not go through the other details. So with that, it's come to the end of my sharing, and hope there's something useful for you to listen to. Thanks.